Welcome to the Opening Kill podcast.
In the dead of night, the ocean keeps its secrets. Some sink, some rot, some wait. A steel coffin, a haunted hull, a voyage that never ended. If the sea offers you a gift, don't open it. This is Ghost Ship.
Before we begin, a quick warning. Opening Kill is a horror podcast that contains adult language, disturbing themes, and graphic descriptions of violent acts, especially the kills featured in each film. We also dive deep into plot details and character arcs. So if you haven't seen the movie we're covering, expect full spoilers ahead. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Opening Kill, the horror podcast that slices deep into the genre we love. We're talking slashers, supernatural nightmares, creature features, and everything in between. Every episode, we break down a different horror film, from its killer cold open to its blood-soaked finale. We track the body count, analyze the scares, and give credit where it's gruesomely due. From iconic franchises to hidden gems, you'll find them all here. Hosted by filmmaker and horror scholar Brian O'Connor and Michael Duran, lifelong genre fan and scream scene specialist. So sharpen your knives, turn off the lights, and let's get into it. This is Opening Kill.
And welcome to episode 42 of Opening Kill, Ghost Ship. I'm Brian O'Connor.
And I am Michael Duran.
How you doing, Michael?
You know, not too bad. I'm getting sick. So
No, don't get sick.
I know. It's happening. The whole family was sick last week, so I've succumbed to the virus.
No.
Yeah.
We have like the big holiday weekend coming up next week, so
I know. So hopefully I'm getting it out of the way before that happens.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that fingers crossed, all that stuff, but the voice ain't sounding top notch at the moment.
Yeah, we've all been there for sure.
Definitely.
So I saw a movie this last week that it was not a scare preview, but we did talk about it on the show last season. It's called Bloody Axe Wound.
Yes,
This
I
is-
was excited for this one.
Probably the most fun I've had watching a horror movie in a long time. If you're not familiar with it, it's about a teenager, Abby Bladecutt. She is the adopted daughter of infamous serial killer Roger Bladecutt, who runs a horror video store built on actual murders. And she's determined to follow in her father's bloody legacy, take over the business, and she begins stalking high school peers. And there's a lot to it. It's a very complicated film because, a stranger delivers the victims to the store so they know who they have to go out and kill. And it's basically a high school yearbook. And Abby has been homeschooled most of her life, but then she goes to public school and she starts to meet some of these people that are circled in the yearbook that's delivered to them, including this girl who she develops a huge crush on, and they end up in a relationship, but she's circled and she has to be killed. And it's really, really good. The comedy, it starts out strong, then it kind of slows down, then it picks up again. But Abby has to decide if she's, really cut out for the killer's role, or if she wants to go, in a completely different path entirely. So lots of good stuff in this movie. I highly recommend it. Bloody Axe Wound. Just came out this year, so I would check it out.
Hey, what was it on?
What was it on? It's a Shudder original.
Okay, so it's on Shudder.
So
Nice.
yeah, it's on Shudder right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
so totally worth it.
Yeah, I'll probably check that one out. Hopefully this week. I didn't know it was out yet, so I'm excited.
I think it just came out a couple of months ago, so it's still pretty
Okay.
new.
Yeah. No, that one looked like a total blast. So I'm glad that it lived up for that. I
And it
unfortunately,
also, You didn't see anything, did you?
No.
Is that what you're going to tell me?
That was what I was going to say. I really dropped the ball this week.
Well, I mean, getting sick, sometimes you just want to sleep and not do much. Plus, you've got like the 2 kids and everything else too. So,
and they were sick. So yeah, it's been
I definitely think I had more time than you did this week. So
probably, probably. I'm going to blame it on them, and maybe I'll have one next week. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah. So, Ghost Ship. This movie came out in 2002. I'll give you just the facts real quickly. Directed by Steve Beck, who also did 13 Ghosts. Written by Mark Hanlon and John Pogue. It was released October 25th, 2002, just in time for Halloween. Runs 91 minutes, rated R, filmed in locations in Canada and Australia. Stars Gabrielle Byrne, Juliana Margulis, Carl Urban. This was one of his very early film roles. Isaiah Washington, Desmond Harrington, and 14-year-old Emily Browning making her American film debut.
She would go on to do a series of unfortunate events. Sucker Punch, a couple of others. But yeah, this was definitely the youngest I've ever seen her. So I'm like, oh, this must be like one of her first.
And what an amazing talent.
Oh, yeah, no, she's always been really fantastic, especially for her age.
Yeah, I was going to say, even at 14, she was pretty phenomenal in this movie.
I assumed she was like 12. She looked really young.
She did look really young. Yeah.
She might just have a baby face or something.
She does have a baby face. Yeah. $20 million budget, made nearly $70 million at the box office, so it did very, very well.
That surprises me.
It does. It does, to me too. Tagline, See Evil, S-E-A, evil.
Nice.
So, yeah.
They're really cooking with that.
They got real creative.
I think that's where they put all their effort.
I think they may have, yeah.
And the opening kill.
There were some moments, if you've not seen the film, quickly, a salvage crew is lured to the abandoned ocean liner Antonia Graza, which has been missing since 1962. After a brutal onboard massacre, they discover the ship is haunted. It's filled with restless souls and a dangerous secret tied to stolen gold. As supernatural forces turn the crew against one another, they uncover the truth. The tragedy was orchestrated by a malevolent entity that feeds on human greed. Stranded and running out of time, the survivors must find a way to destroy the cursed ship before it claims their souls next. So it's kind of like Cabin on the Woods on water.
Yeah. I had never seen this until this week. I, of course, had heard about the opening scene. I've seen that, like everyone has, but I was surprised with the direction it went. That was not what I expected. I didn't expect it to be like a salvage crew. Like that completely took me off guard. And so when I saw it, that's where the direction this was going. I was kind of actually excited for it. I was like, okay, I like that this is what they're going to do. And then they kind of just squandered it from there. It's so much missed opportunity with this one.
There's a lot here to talk about as
there
we get
is.
into it. And I tend to agree with you. I remember seeing this in theaters and I really liked it. And then I've watched it again, multiple times since. And now I'm starting to see things that I didn't see before. And it kind of has taken some things away from this film, but it opens in May of 1962. It's a flashback scene. They're aboard the Italian luxury ocean liner Antonia Graza, and passengers are gathered in the grand ballroom. They're dancing. There's a singer. Her name is Francesca. And in a side room, an unseen individual pulls a lever, releases a tensioned steel cable hidden beneath the dance floor. The cable snaps taut across the ballroom and it slices through the entire crowd. Most victims remain conscious for a bit after this, not realizing that they've been severed because this happened so fast.
They're like, there was only one survivor. Like 15 seconds. They're just kind of like, they just stand, like eyes shifting. And then finally they start to fall apart.
And they're not just decapitated. This steel cable went right through their abdomens and sliced them in half.
So definitely it wasn't super high.
Right.
And so lots of like arms, torsos just cut in half. We do have the captain though. He did get cut across the face. And the reason for that is because he was dancing with the little girl. And so he was kind of stooped down. So he caught the wire through the face. And that's such a great scene where he's just standing there and his face just slides off.
Yeah. And the girl's name is Katie Harwood.
Katie, yeah.
And that is she's played by Emily Browning. And yeah, that is the only reason, like you said, the only reason she survived. And yeah, there's this part where she looks up at him, doesn't realize that he's been killed too, and his head just splits apart at the cut. And then she screams as the camera plunges beneath the ocean, and we transition to present day. But that is
The opening kill.
The opening kill of how many people?
Well, we don't know, because this is the weird thing about this movie. We're going to count this as one kill because there is dialogue later in the movie that indicates there were 600 passengers aboard plus 500 crew. So that's 1,100 people. They didn't all die in this one scene, because we'll see later what happened to the rest of them. But there were, I don't know, 80 to 100 people probably, I would guess, that were killed in this opening kill scene.
It's got to be something close to that. And so, yeah, I don't know. There is something that just made me laugh, though, is it's an arm laying next to the body it used to be attached to, but the arm is still lifted up and like grabbing at stuff, even though it's completely disconnected.
Right.
Like,
you show me a life of its own.
Yeah, like a head, if he gets chopped off, yeah, I know that the eyes can still like move a little bit, but an arm reaching upwards, defying gravity that's been severed, I don't think so.
A little bit of a stretch. So.
And then there was this one lady who's cut in half, and she's laying next to her legs and like just kind of like cuddling them.
Oh my goodness!
It's a bonkers scene, and I do have to say, like, it's very well done. It's fun.
I will say this is a diamond-plated butter knife kill.
It's got to be. It's the captain's quarters butcher knife. Wait, you said butter knife?
I should say butcher knife.
Okay.
Oh, I misspoke.
Oh, okay.
Butcher knife. A diamond-plated butcher knife, not a butter knife. Good God.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to revolt, jump through this screen and strangle you.
No, this is totally a diamond-plated butcher knife.
Okay.
Kill.
Now we're cooking. Yes, totally agree.
Good. We can be friends again.
Yeah. It's about to freak out.
Yeah. So same for you.
Yeah, of course.
So we flash forward to modern times, and there's a salvage crew, and they've just completed a successful recovery operation, and they're celebrating at a local bar. And they're approached by this man named Jack Ferriman, who is played by Desmond Harrington. He's a Canadian pilot, and he claims to have located a large abandoned vessel drifting in the Bering Sea. It's unclaimed, and it's in international waters, meaning salvage rights will go to whoever can tow it to port. And
is that real?
I think it is. I think
I forgot to Google
I don't know.
it.
I think you can. Yeah, I have to look that up. But
when they were saying that, I was like, is that? And I meant to Google it, and then I just forgot to.
Yeah, me too.
That seems interesting.
Yeah.
So if you were to find the Titanic,
right,
it belonged to you?
Well, I mean,
if you could get it up.
Which you can't.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that would work. I know nothing about maritime law.
I mean, you know what? It's one of the things I know the least about in life. So,
yeah, probably.
If I'm being honest.
So at first, the crew is kind of hesitant, and the captain is the one played by, his name is Murphy. He's played by Gabriel Byrne, and he's kind of, skeptical. And then he gets on board with it, and they decide, well, maybe we should go out there and see what this is all about. And that is what they do. Yep,
they decide to go along with them, so they head on out to sea to see what they can find. And they find
tugboat. Yeah, they literally run right into it. They're on board their tugboat, which is called the Arctic Warrior. They locate this ship. It's not, here's the funny thing, it's not on their radar, and they're out there in the Bering Sea, and it's very foggy. There's very little visual line
you
of
can't
sight
see
here.
anything.
And before they know it, the fog kind of clears and the ship is right in front of them, and they can't stop in time, and they slam into it. And that's where they come in contact with it. And it is the Antonia Graza, missing since 1962.
I don't know what it means, but Antonia Graza is a great name for a ship.
It really is. This is an Italian liner. And the fact that it's in the Bering Sea is kind of interesting, but there it is.
Just floating in the fog.
Yeah. So they do what any of us would not do. They board this thing and they start experiencing unexplained events. Maureen Epps, I'll just refer to her as Epps from now on, played by Juliana Margulis, is the first one to report something odd. She sees this young girl, and it's the same girl who survived the initial opening kill.
Yeah.
And sees her near a stairwell. Greer is another one of them, one of the crew members. He's played by Isaiah Washington. He reports hearing distant singing from Francesca, the lounge singer, this hot brunette who's in a very, very sexy red dress, who was performing the night that that this happened on the ship back in 1962. So some strange things start going on here.
I do love how Greer's like talking about how sexy the voice is. Like he's afraid, but turned on as well.
Right.
And the Epps sees the girl when she's saving Carl Urban, who fell through the floor. And so she's like holding him, trying to drag him up, and she looks down, and that's when she sees the little girl on the stairway just staring at her.
And I'm surprised that she didn't drop Munder, who is played by Carl Urban, because the shock on her face when she sees this little girl, it's like, oh, what the hell is going on here? This is like a haunted ship now all of a sudden.
Right. That would freak me out. I would have already been off the boat though, so I wouldn't have seen her.
Well, I think with you and I, Michael, I don't think we ever would have boarded the ship to begin with. I mean,
I wouldn't have even been part of the crew.
I mean, I'm not big on water, going out on the ocean like that.
No, thank you.
No. So down in the ship's laundry room, Epps and Ferryman, who is, he is played by Desmond Harrington. He's the one that approached them at the very beginning to go out there. They discover the bodies of an earlier salvage team that had boarded, and they opened up this hatch and this water flooded in and all these dead bodies come floating in with them. It's kind of a gruesome scene.
Yeah. And like one of the members, I don't remember his name, but he was kind of taken aback because he sees a modern watch and he's like, what's going on here? Like this wouldn't have been around. And they're like, I guess we're not the first people here, but we're here now. So it's going to be ours. So yeah, there was just little things here and there that already making them very uneasy.
Exactly. And so we move a little bit more into this movie, and they decide to get the hell off the ship and abandon the mission, but they discover several crates of gold bullion and think, well, wait a minute, this could be, I think the figure they gave, the captain thinks it could be worth something like $300 million.
Yeah.
And there's this debate between the crew. One of them says, well, they're going to have serial numbers. They're going to be traceable. We can recover this, but we're not going to get to keep it. And they realize that those numbers have been shaved off.
Yep. So it's dirty money for sure.
Absolutely. So they are celebrating. And so a couple of the crew members go back to their tugboat, and they're going to, with this little tugboat, they are going to tow this huge ass rusted ship back to Anchorage. I don't know either. and then they'll deal with the gold when they get back to Alaska.
I mean, I know tugboats are powerful for being so little, but that seems like quite the job. Like, this thing's
Seems
huge.
unlikely.
Yeah. Plus, it has
Yeah.
all that gold, so it's even heavier.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And a chuck full of ghosts weighing it down as well, so I don't know about all that.
That's the key here, because they go to start the tugboat, and not everybody. There's only like 2 or 3 people on the tugboat, I think.
Yeah.
And they go to start it, and it explodes due to a sabotaged propane leak. And that kills Santos, who was the one who was down in the engine room when the boat started. And the boat is no longer. It's gone. Santos dies for kill number 2, and now everybody else is stranded aboard the Antonia Graza.
Yep, they have no way to pilot themselves away.
There is a cool scene where the ghost of the little girl from the beginning, she's running across the deck, screaming at them not to start the boat because she knows she's a ghost. She knows what's going to happen. And I think Epps sees her, but it's too late. They can't do anything. And then boom, it goes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because they get flung out of that boat. They get yeeted very far.
Yeah.
And Epps even jumps in to save one of the crew, and so she's bringing them back on. But that's the other thing you were telling me that I didn't catch. This water would have been so cold, they would have died.
They're in the Bering Sea. This is super cold water. And I'm not even seeing their breath in any of these scenes. I mean, I don't care what time of year it is. It's nighttime. They're at the top of the world in the Arctic Ocean or the Bering Sea, and it's going to be cold, and no one's going to survive in the water very long. And there's a scene we'll talk about at the very end of the movie where that is even more the case. So yeah, it's too cold to survive.
Yeah, and then they get out of the water, and it's like, okay, maybe they were able to get out. But then they're on a boat with no electricity, so there's no heat. That boat is essentially like being outside.
Right.
So, yeah. Believe me, because I've been to, there was this Titanic, like, museum thing, and they had a piece of the ship that I was able to actually touch. So I've touched the Titanic, no big deal, whatevs. And then they also had the water and the temperature that the water was that night, and you can put your hand in it to see like how long you can handle it. It hurts so bad after like 3 seconds. It's that cold to where it's incredibly painful, and that's just my hand. Like if that was my entire body, that would shut you down so quickly.
My gosh, yeah. Wow.
It was horrible.
So Epps goes exploring after the crew has basically debated how to proceed. And she goes below deck, or she goes to the bridge, and she finds the ghost girl's name in the ship's passenger register, and her name is Katie Harwood. And there's also this scene that they completely stole out of The Lost Boys, where Munder and Dodge, 2 of the crew members, they're eating this canned food and it's good. And then they all of a sudden realize they're eating maggots, which they weren't maggots before, and now they are. So something is definitely off.
So Carl Urban's face when they discover it is so funny. Like, it's just so cheesily like surprised. It's like, it's hilarious. He's got range.
Yeah. And now we get into a bunch of very short scenes. They go pretty quick here. Greer, Isaiah Washington's character, sees the lounge singer's ghost, just like Epps is seeing Katie's ghost. And then it goes back to Epps finding Katie's quarters down on B deck. And she's going through it, and she opens the closet, and she finds a young girl's skeleton hanging there. And that is Katie. So she didn't die on deck in that ballroom scene, but she did die. Somehow somebody hung her in her own closet, which is sad.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought she just killed herself. But maybe she didn't. I don't know. It seemed like a weird way to die in the closet with the news, but whatever. I don't know the logistics about how much of a fall it takes to to kill you, but it just seemed. Well, I guess you could just get strangled.
You could just get strangled and not be
Yeah.
able to breathe. And I think, and we'll see later towards the end, because all is revealed in this flashback how she's killed. Unfortunately, it's very sad.
Yeah,
And then we
that's
go
what I
back
was-
to Greer, who is
Yeah.
in the ship's lounge. And this is kind of a cool scene because he's watching and the lounge is magically repairing itself. So overturned tables are righting themselves. The chandelier, which was in shambles on the floor, all comes back together and it goes shooting back up to the ceiling. And now he's surrounded by the ship's passengers and they're applauding him. And Francesca is smiling at him from behind a microphone. So it's like
Mhm.
he's in the ballroom and it's all good and he has no clue.
No, but he doesn't care because Francesca gives him that "come hither" look,
Yep.
and he does. He comes for her, and she just starts taking off her clothes. She's naked, and you do hear him like because he's engaged, and he's
Yes.
like, "It's impossible to cheat with a ghost." So like this
That's
is
exactly right.
fine. He's just justifying.
I'm going to go with this, Francesca. Yeah.
He's just justifying it the entire way. And so then she comes to this like doorway and he comes up behind her, gonna like grab a hold of her, and he just falls through her down this
Yep.
big
It's an
trap
elevator
door
chute.
thing.
It's an
Oh, yeah,
elevator shaft.
elevator chute.
Yeah.
And that's death number 3.
It is. And before that, Murphy, the captain, wakes up in the Antonia Graza's captain's quarters, and the captain is
Yeah.
there, sitting there, his ghost. And the ghost tells him that the gold was aboard another ship that the Graza stopped to help. And there was only one survivor on that ship.
Mhm.
And it was Jack Ferriman, the man who approached them back in the bar to help find this ship.
Yep.
And which right there, now you're going, oh, shit. Okay.
Like what's
So
he? Because he
stuff
still
is-
looks the same.
Yep, he sure does.
And they were also we
And
learned about this wall with a bunch of bullet holes in it, and it was in a pool, and just a ton of bullet holes in this pool. So we don't know yet
Yeah.
what went on there, but something bad.
right, something very, very bad. So Epps encounters Katie's spirit, who reveals the truth. The Antonia Graza's crew staged a mass murder because they wanted to claim the gold recovered from that other ship. Passengers were killed through multiple methods. Not only that cable that cut them
Right.
in half at the beginning, but they were poisoned. They were shot. Katie herself was murdered. There's a scene where 2 of those crew members have her and they're dragging her back to her quarters, and then the door shuts. But I mean, obviously they are the ones that hung her in her closet, and she died that way. And Santos's ghost then confronts Murphy, which is interesting because Santos is the one that was killed in the tugboat explosion
Right.
and everything. So there's a lot of ghosties coming to life here on this ship.
There is, and he looks terrible with his face all burnt up. And Epps is walking through the hall, and she runs upon Murphy. And Murphy, though, is experiencing some kind of psychosis because he views Epps as Santos. Like he sees Santos's face, and so he thinks he's defending himself, but he's really just attacking Epps for no reason. And Epps doesn't know what the hell is going on. She's just like, it's me. Like, hello, stupid. And she's able to like get away from him, and they end up locking him up because he's clearly lost his marbles and cannot be trusted to play safe with everyone else.
Well, it's Ferriman that intervenes and saves her from Murphy. And they drop him into this tubular aquarium. It's like this giant glass tube.
Yeah.
And they drop him in there and leave him there. And not too long from that, Maureen finds the body of Greer, who fell through the elevator shaft, and he's fallen onto some of these steel, what do you call them? Like steel poles or whatever. And so
Right.
he's been like, yeah, he's long dead. And she sees Katie there as well. And now Epps is shown all of the key events of the betrayal in this flashback scene. And I got to tell you, I love the soundtrack. The song that's playing is perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, the soundtrack is great anyway, but this scene, the way they did this scene was pretty amazing. So you see the crew members poisoning meals, executing passengers in the pool scene, which you talked about.
Yeah.
There were holes in the pool, and now we know why.
Yeah. Just very mob-like. Just line them up, shoot them down.
And eventually, everybody starts to turn on each other as their greed escalates. Francesca, the singer, shows up in the cargo hold as the crew are stealing these gold bullions. And one of the officers sees her and she just looks at him and she kind of gives him that, hey, baby, you know. And in an instance, he turns his automatic weapon and starts gunning down the other crew members.
Yep.
And then he turns around back to Francesca, who executes him right there. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Shoots him in the head with a pistol.
The ringleader emerges from the shadows, and Francesca is killed by a swinging hook. And the ringleader marks her hand with this brand, and it turns out the ringleader is Jack Ferriman. So,
yep, who's an evil spirit guy thing.
Yeah. So all of these kills we just saw in the flashback, including Francesca, that's kill 4. We're going to call this a group kill because there's just no way to count these.
No, it's too many.
Yeah. So
and then,
Ferriman is this, like you said, he's this entity, and he engineers disasters so that he can harvest human souls.
Yeah, I don't know.
The key behind this.
It's weird. I didn't like this. This whole reveal was not my favorite thing.
No, not really. And it came pretty early here too, because we're not quite at the end yet.
Yeah, no, they had me up until this. I was kind of on board. And then as soon as Jack Ferriman is revealed, I was like, I don't like that one bit. But yeah, Epps then decides to blow up the ship. But
but first, the last image in that flashback is the water that's starting to fill the aquarium where Murphy is. And so she takes off, but she gets there and it's too late. He's already drowned for kill number 5.
Yep, that is true. Yep, so he's gone. So then Epps is just like, we just got to blow this sucker up. Hopefully, I guess that kills the ghosts. But she's confronted by Ferriman. Yeah.
Before she can, though, Munder is diving in the submerged engine room to unclog a pump tube. And he gets crushed by the engine gears for kill number 6. So, yeah.
Rest in peace.
And that's when Ferriman confronts Dodge. And, it's pretty crazy what happens here because Epps is in there with Dodge and Ferriman comes in. By this point, Epps already knows he's an evil spirit. And she hands Dodge a weapon. It's like a shotgun. And then she leaves so she can go to set her explosives.
Yeah, it's all very interesting. So then this is where Ferriman's kind of talking about how he uses the gold as bait, and he's taken multitudes of souls to his masters. And he's been, this is just what he's been doing for a very, very long time, and he considers himself a salvager of souls.
Let's go back to the other kill first, though, that happens, because Ferriman and Dodge are left alone.
Yeah.
And Ferriman actually, he's standing there, and Dodge ends up shooting him, who fakes death. And, Epps, and we see Ferriman on the ground, and I immediately know he's not dead. This isn't the case
he's a ghost.
here. He's a ghost. And so we see Ferriman open his eyes, and then it cuts to Epps in the engine room planting her explosives when Dodge shows up. Or is it Dodge?
Right. Yeah, this whole ending scene, it's very messy and convoluted.
Yes.
And I hate it when this happened so much, especially in the 2000s, where
Right.
the ends just go off the rails to a point where I'm like, I'm off. Like I can't do this. It was the
Right.
case with like 13 Ghosts, which I guess same director, so
Same
that
director, yeah.
makes complete sense. I guess that's just his style. But yeah, no, this ending, like, hold on and try to follow along because it's ridiculous.
So Dodge ends up actually being Ferriman, who is in Dodge's form. He's killed Dodge for kill number 7. We don't see that, but it's assumed, and we're pretty sure that's what happens here.
So he can, so he can shapeshift too, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
and then Ferriman reveals that the girl, Katie, couldn't be marked like the rest of them because, quote, souls without sin can't be marked, makes them tough to control, unquote. So that's why Katie is not like the rest of the ghosts. She's helpful and she's trying to help, the scavenger team here to escape this ship. And she keeps telling Epps, you guys have to get off this ship before it's too late. So, yeah.
and she keeps saying like him, back before it was revealed. But yeah, I guess she's just too pure to be controlled by Ferriman.
Yeah, exactly. So Ferriman, reveals that the gold serves as bait to lure future victims and that he brought Epps's crew to the ship deliberately to restore it for continued use. And they have this big physical confrontation, and Maureen is able to detonate the explosives that she planted. The ship is destroyed. Ferriman, he's blown to pieces, but again, he's not dead, right? And all of the trapped souls, including Katie, ascend. And there's this is kind of a cool underwater scene. And Katie actually shows Epps the way to get out of this wreck as it's sinking and move on. Again, now we get to my big problem with this movie. They're in the Bering Sea, which is ice cold, and Epps is now floating in the water on this, piece of the ship. It's not a very big piece. Her body is still in the water, and she's not rescued until the next day by a passing cruise ship, which there is no way she could have survived in these waters that long. No way.
No, not a chance in hell. But yeah, she's taken back to land after she's discovered by a different cruise ship out in the water. And then I have a lot of questions about this last scene. So the last scene, it's Epps in the back of an ambulance. Once she gets back to the docks, they're obviously going to check her out because she should be dead from the cold.
Yes.
And she's looking out the back of the vehicle from her stretcher, just perched there, and she sees those gold crates being loaded onto the cruise ship by men who look just like her former crewmen. And later she also sees Ferriman, who then like gives her like a glare, and they carry on, and then she screams and it's cut short because the ambulance doors just slams in her face, and that's the movie.
Yeah, that's it.
So I don't.
Yeah, that's just it. Ferriman survives, obviously, and she's in the back of an ambulance, and that's it. It just.
But I thought the
stops
souls
right
ascended.
There. Well, the souls are now home, I would assume, at this point, wherever they were going.
Right.
Yeah,
so how
I don't know.
Did he go and grab them back?
Well, that's a great question, but those I don't think were. Those weren't the trapped souls from the original, the beginning of the movie when everyone dies. I think those were the only ones that were going on, that were passing over. So I don't know. Yeah.
And then, I have so much questions to what the fuck Ferriman really is. Cause I don't know. He's got too many powers.
He does. And his real intent, it's to collect human souls, but it's,
for his
masters. It's kind of murky, though. It's,
So, because he says souls to his masters. So I don't know if his master's like Satan himself or Odin or like whatever. It doesn't ever tell you. But
right, exactly.
It annoys me.
So the final kill count, it's 7 kill sequences, but at least several hundred, and more than likely more than 1,000
Yeah.
that end up dying in this whole film, from the beginning to the flashback to the actual characters that we see killed in present day time. So it's a lot.
Yeah, whole heaps of
Whole
people.
heaps.
A cornucopia
So my
of people.
favorite character in this for me was probably Epps, because she seemed to know what was going on when nobody else did.
Yeah, that's, I mean, fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's probably my favorite too. I wasn't like a big fan of really anyone in the movie, if I'm being
Right.
100, but she was cool. She seemed like a good-hearted person.
Favorite kill?
I mean, the opening, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah. I think favorite scene for me was definitely the flashback reveal with Katie and Epps. I just loved the way, with the soundtrack
Yeah.
and the cinematography and how they did that. By far my favorite scene.
If it's not the opening scene, I would say it's definitely that. Definitely the two most like competently made parts of it. I think both were really standout moments to where you're like, oh, like these. That's what's so irritating, is the director clearly knows what he's doing in some aspects,
Mm-hmm.
but then others, it's just so, ugh,
Yeah.
a slug.
Yep. Final girl score for Epps, I give her an 8. I mean, she went through a lot, and nobody believed her at first when she said she was seeing the girl and all that, and
Right.
then basically taking things into her own hands by blowing up the ship.
Yeah, I mean, she's competent. She's like forgettable though. Like this whole movie is pretty forgettable, so I'm gonna give her a 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
How screwed are we, Michael?
I am so fucking safe. Like it's not even funny. I'm not on the
Really?
boat. Yeah, I'm not going on the boat. I would never be a part of a salvage crew. Like
Right.
I would like.
Well,
I
but
would
let's say you
maybe-
were. Let's say you got
Okay.
thrown on the boat. What do you think, you'd survive this thing?
Probably not. I mean, it's ghosts. Like those are so unpredictable. You can't like really. Yeah, I don't know how to fight them.
Well, yeah.
I'd say like.
I mean,
I would have been willing to. I don't know. I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna say I would die. I'd probably die pretty quickly.
I would die because I don't do well with both water and evil ghosts. So
Yeah,
put
those
the two
tend
together.
to bum me out.
Yeah, I'm not going to survive this movie. Star grade, I'll give it a 3.5.
I'm gonna do like a 2.5.
Okay.
2.5.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think the 2 stars come from the flashback scene and the opening kill, and then the half goes to the soundtrack choice.
Perfect.
There we go.
Slasher survival tip: if you find an abandoned ocean liner with no passengers, congratulations, you've discovered a floating red flag. Turn around before the ship starts doing cardio on your ass, all right?
Do you think that's a great tip? I do have a question for you. Do you think
Yes.
that it would have been fine if they literally just would have grabbed the gold and ran?
Yes.
Yeah, like that's what I think
that's what they
I
should
would
have
have been. That's what I would have been campaigning pretty hard. Is like I would have been totally on board to steal that thing, like to get the gold, like that. Absolutely, no moral compass when it comes to that. But I wouldn't want to dick around at all. I'd be like, let's just go. Who cares? Who cares about this boat at this point? Let's just get this and go.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Well, that is the difference between them and us. We were looking at just the gold, but they decided to stick around a little bit longer than they should have, and boom,
Yeah,
that's it.
because they care about
They were
like
still-
artifacts and crap.
Yeah. Yeah, but there was a lot of gold there, and they were thinking $200 to $300 million. Get that shit and find a way off and just go. So that
Yeah.
ends that.
Yeah. So I guess I would have survived because I would have just dipped out, loaded the gold on my tugboat, and headed away.
Right. Scare preview coming up, but first, make sure you check out our friend Courtney and her podcast, Jaunty Hunts.
Every single week, she's got a brand new episode and interviewing the most interesting people. My wife was one of the interviews, fantastic. But she's also got like some of her friends, a couple of reoccurring guests, and just tons of new ones with bizarre stories. They're tackling all sorts of things from demons, ghosts, you name it, anything paranormal. Courtney is covering with Jaunty Haunts.
Some of these stories will give you goosebumps. They're pretty intense. So yeah, for sure. And Courtney's story is she has been able to see ghosts her whole life. Didn't tell anybody about it until just last year. And now we have Jaunty Haunts. So an incredible podcast. Make sure you check it out. It's incredible. A lot of fun to listen to. And she does such a great job with it.
She does.
This is the part of the podcast where we preview upcoming movies that Michael and I have found that we are very excited about. And here is mine, Michael. Let's see if we got a match this week. Mine is a film called The Housemaid.
Nope.
Nope?
Not
all right.
mine.
This is from director Paul Feig, who has been involved in a million different projects. Stars Amanda Seyfried, Sydney Sweeney, Brandon Sklenar, and Elizabeth Perkins. And it's about this girl, Millie, played by Sydney Sweeney, who is trying to outrun some pretty messy history. And she takes what seems like the perfect reset button, a live-in housemaid job for this gorgeous, super wealthy couple, Nina and Andrew. Nina is played by Amanda Seyfried, and then Andrew Winchester, played by Brandon Sklenar. At first, it feels like this dream gig, but no. The vibe gets really weird, really fast. Millie gets tangled up in this seductive little web of secrets, mind games, and power plays, and let's just say the Winchesters have enough drama to fuel a whole soap opera. All kinds of hard-hitting twists, and by the end, you're not even sure who's playing who. So this looks very intriguing. It is being released December the 19th. Again, the movie is called The Housemaid.
I love Amanda Seyfried. I don't like Sydney Sweeney, so
right.
I'll be rooting for Amanda for sure.
Perfect.
Mine is a little film, a little cinematic adventure called Psycho Killer. This is directed by Gavin Polone, and this is his directorial debut. So see how he does. And it's following the brutal murder of her husband, a Kansas highway patrol officer sets out on a journey to track down the perpetrator. But as the hunt progresses, she comes to realize that the man responsible is a sadistic, satanic serial killer, and the depth of his mental depravity and sinister agenda is more twisted than anyone could have imagined. This one's got really no one big except for Malcolm McDowell. He is in this movie, so horror royalty there. And it is coming out February 20th, 2026. That's going to be released theatrically.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it looks fun. I saw the trailer, so I'm intrigued for sure.
Perfect. And that is your scare preview. So thank you for tuning in to episode 42. Next week, just in time for Thanksgiving, or I should say it will land on Thanksgiving, but it is Black Friday.
Woo! Love a little Black Friday deal.
Love that. And so we'll bring you that. Want to thank all of our listeners and our viewers now too.
Yeah.
You can subscribe to us and follow us on Insta and Facebook. And don't forget, we're on video now on YouTube.
Check us out there. Subscribe where you get podcasts, and then also subscribe on YouTube. You do the old double tap there. And if you have a movie recommendation, something you want to hear us tackle, you can shoot us an email. And that email is openingkillpod@gmail.com.
Cool. All right. Well, we will see you next week with Black Friday. Thanks for listening, and talk to you then.
See ya.
Opening Kill is produced by Mystic Cloud Productions and hosted by Brian O'Connor and Michael Duran. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And don't forget, you can watch the video versions on YouTube. See you next time, if you survive the opening kill.